Recording in progress.
Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited that you're here. My name is Tanya, and we're going to do a special project today. This is a pop-up card. Can you believe it? It looks just like a normal card on the front, but when you open it up, look, these little guys, they are flying through the sky, and this front pops out. So, you ready? Let's make it together. It's going to be great. All right, we're going to go here and look at this. So we've got some supplies that we need to talk about first. If you got the box, it's going to look like this. It's the Hello Summer box. It's red. So that's the one we're going to use. So let's open it up and look at the supplies that we're going to need for this project. Lots of fun stuff in here. We definitely need this. This is going to be in our instruction guide. So make sure you hang on tight to that. I'm going to set it aside for a minute. We're going to need these templates. And if you don't have the box, that's okay, because there's a printout, and the printout also has these same templates. So we've got these two we need for today's project. Let's see what else. Let's dig around here. Oh, we need these foam stickers. They've got planets and seashells on them. Definitely, that's something we'll need today. Star stickers. Let's put that in our stack. Got lots of those. Maybe you use some for another project, but we're definitely using them today. We already talked about these wonderful. Oh, look, it's the sun. We're going to use one of these on our project. Oh, look at these cuties. It's a puppy dog and a kitty cat, and they're in astronaut uniforms, and we're going to use them along with the beach stuff. It sounds interesting. I'm excited to see how you're going to use them. Hey, would you pop in the chat if you, or in the comments below, what animals do you think would be fun flying around in an astronaut costume? Let's add that to the comments. I think that'd be fun to see what all you have to say on that. All right, we need that. Oh, we definitely need the markers because we're going to be using those. This is part of one of our templates that we talked about earlier. And then we're going to need this cardstock. Let's grab that out. And let's see what we have over here, because I know there's some supplies that we need from this side. Yes, there they are. We're going to need a pair of scissors. Now, again, if you don't have the box, there's other things that you can use, and we'll talk about those things as we go along. But grab some scissors and some glue. We'll need those things. And that's what we need to get going on this card. So you ready? Gather all your supplies. And if you need scissors, please make sure that you reach out to an adult who can help you get scissors. That will be great for you to use for this project today. Okay, so here's our card. Now I've left it blank on the front, but maybe you have some great ideas, and we'll talk about some things that you could add to the front. And we're going to do the inside. We're going to do all of these pop-ups. Now, let's say you don't have the kit and you need some paper. Ask an adult for some paper that you can use. Maybe it's construction paper, maybe it's paper from the printer. You know what would even be fun? Even if you had like a magazine or a newspaper or something, you could still do this card with those things and it would look really awesome. So, ready? Let's talk about these instructions here. These instructions, if I'm going to go find on page, let's see here, not found, there we go, page 7. That's where our instructions are. Pop-up greeting card, and there it is. It tells us all the supplies we need. It also says that we need a pencil. So I made sure I grabbed a pencil too. Now, the first step it tells us is that we're going to need to trace on some paper or cardstock. Cardstock's like heavy paper. It's a little bit thicker. We're going to trace these shapes. And these are the shapes that we were talking about earlier. It's these wavy shapes. In my card, they are these pieces right here. and this one on the front. So we're going to get some cardstock and we're going to trace, or paper, whatever paper you have available and you've been given permission to use, of course, and we're going to trace this. So here we go. I've got my pieces right here. And I'm going to trace them. Now, I have a trick about tracing, especially if it has a straight line. I want to go ahead and line it up with another straight line. So I'm lining it up with the edge of my paper. Now, you may ask, Tanya, why do I need to do that? Why would I want to line it up with the edge? And I'll tell you, because it means you only have to trace two sides. So I'm going to trace this side, and I'm going to trace this side right here, but I don't have to trace this side or down here because I put it on the edge. And when I cut, I only have two sides to cut. So I thought about how I could do that. So that's an idea, is to try to put it on an edge if you can. So I'm going to put another one down, and I'm going to put it up against an edge, and I'm going to trace it. Now, sometimes it's a little tricky when you're tracing because your paper may want to try to move. But if you hold it down, and maybe you might need someone else to help you hold this down while you trace, and just let your pencil follow the edge of that template. And there I've got two of them traced. I only have one more. Now, this one's going to have to be in the middle of my paper. So I'm just going to put it up against one edge, and I'll only have to trace 1, 2, and 3 sides. All right, so my tracing is done for these pieces. So I'm going to set them aside and get them out of my way. So now I'm ready to cut. I've got my handy dandy scissors here. And a trick that I like to do about cutting is to go ahead and cut these straight lines first. So I cut this straight line, and then I'm just going to make a little clip and get him out of the way. Loop. And there, get that piece out of the way. I'm going to do it over here too. And go all the way up, and then clip him out of the way. And this one's so close to the edge, I probably don't even need to do it, but I will. And now that means I just need to follow these lines. Well, what's the easiest next line for me to cut? It's going to be this straight one, so that's the one I'm going to cut next. Now, I have learned a trick about my scissors that I'm going to show you in this spot right here in between. If I cut all the way through, clip, clip, it makes a little tear. So what I've learned to do is not cut all the way to the end of my scissors like that, but instead I cut a little bit and then I scoot, cut and scoot, cut and scoot. Can y'all do that? Cut and scoot, cut and scoot. You're just scooting your scissors along that line and cutting it out. And then when I get to the end, I can go all the way because there's no paper there that would tear. And it's done. So now it's time to cut some wavy lines. Now, I have a trick for cutting wavy lines too. Now, this is a fun one, and it may be something new that some of you've never tried before, but it is moving my paper and not my scissors. So as I cut these curvy lines, as I come up to them, and remember, I'm cutting and scooting, as I come to the curve, this hand that holds my scissors is staying in one place. This hand that's holding the paper is going to move. Ready? Watch my hand. It's just moving. Now I got to scoot, and I'm just going to move my paper. Now, sometimes my scissor gets in the way, and so I need to just cut that off and get where my scissor can get through there a little bit easier. And that's okay. These are just scraps that'll go in the trash when we're finished. You see how I'm moving the paper? All right, I would love for someone to put in the comments below, maybe all of you could, something fun that you have done this summer. What is something fun that you have done this summer? Would you share that with all of us in the comments below? I think that'd be super great. It might give some of us some ideas of things we would like to do this summer. All right, I'm near the end. And clip, I can clip at the end. So I'm going to set that one aside. It's ready. I'm going to grab another one. Now I have these two lines and they're pretty close together. And that might be just a little tricky for me to cut. So I'm going to go in the middle and I'm going to just cut. And I'm not trying to cut on the line right now. I just want to separate these two pieces and make it easier for myself when I'm cutting on those curves. All right, I'm ready to cut my curves. What do, y'all? We do the cut and scoot. So cut and scoot. And which hand is moving? It's the hand that's holding my paper. I'm just moving my paper along the curve. If it gets a little tight for my scissors, clip it off, and it'll be okay. Here we go. We're going to cut this curve. We're going down. Kind of think of it like riding on a roller coaster or riding on a hill. It's just going up and down, moving my paper along with my scissors here. And we're now towards the end. Flip that off. So our card today is really interesting because not only do we have those cat and dog astronauts, but we have planets and stars. And then we have things that would go on the beach. Isn't that fun? It's like all the things, like between the ocean and the sand, all the way up to outer space. Our card is going to be so amazing because we've got the beach, we've got outer space, and we've got fun dogs and cats. I think that's just going to be great. So I've cut those things. I'm going to set my scissors aside for a minute and get my trash out of the way. There we go. Those three pieces are complete. So what do our instructions say to do next? So we traced it and we cut it. See, this is all in instruction box number 1. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make our card base. So we're going to take 2 pieces of our construction paper and we're going to do the 2 pieces of blue if you have the kit. If you don't have the kit, or even if you do and you want to use a different color, go for it. Use a different color, that's okay. But you'll want to make sure that they're close to this size of a card. Okay. Now, what our instructions tell us, and this is kind of interesting to show you. Right here, it says that we're going to fold them up a little bit and on both of them. Do you see that? It says 1 and 2 pieces there, and we're going to fold them up. And then we're going to glue them together. So let's do that folding piece first. And when I do this, I like to have both of them together at the same time. And then I hold it, and maybe you might need to have someone help hold this for you while you're working on it. And I'm going to take and just fold up a little bit, just about like a finger width. And I'm just going to make a crease on one side. Then I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a crease, and now I'm going to hold down my creases, and I'm just going to slowly start folding it to the middle. We're not going to do a hard press right now. We're just getting that started. Okay, once we have it folded like that, then I'm going to take it and I'm going to press it down. And you know what really helps to press down? To take the handle of my scissors and press it down. Again, if anything that we're doing and it seems like, well, I'm just not having good success on this part, I need some help. It's okay to ask for help. Ask for help of an adult who's with you, and that would be absolutely great. I'm sure they'd love to come and help you. So here we've got our 2 little flaps, just like our instructions say. And we're going to glue these together. So I'm going to put some glue along this one, and then this piece I'm just going to add to it and glue them together. All right. let me do that and you'll see what I'm saying. Now, one thing that I like to say with my kiddos is dot, dot, not a lot. Have you ever heard that from someone? It's when you're dealing with glue and you dot, dot, not a lot. We don't need a whole lot of glue, because what happens if we have a lot of glue? Oh my goodness, it goes all over. It's on the table. It's on our hands. It's everywhere. So we want to be careful. All right, I got my dot, dot, not a lot. Can you see that? Now I'm going to take and I'm tapping this edge that's not folded on the table. And that makes them even, so that then I can just go up here and carefully press them together. There we go. Now it's pressed together, and it may take a little bit for that glue to dry, maybe a few minutes, but when that glue dries, it will be solid. And you can see how our card will fold open and closed. All right, so there's our card. And the next thing that our instructions tell us to do, let's look at that together. Step 3, we're going to glue one of these yellow pieces to our card. Now, we had cut out 3 different ones. And if you remember, our templates, they were really interesting. So the templates, either whether you have it on from the kit, or if you have it from the printout, you can see one, it doesn't have any dotted lines, but the other 2 have dotted lines. They fold. So see, on this one, it's not a dotted line, but it's like a really light colored line. That right there is our fold line. Okay, so we want to use the one that doesn't have a fold line. So I'm going to do a little puzzle here with us. And you can do this puzzle too to figure out which one is the one that doesn't have the fold line. So let's do a matching game, y'all. We're going to see which one. Okay, this one, no, that doesn't match. What does it match? Oh, it matches this one. I'm going to leave it right there. How about this one? Does it match? Nope. Oh, there's its match. Well, that must mean my last one matches up with that one. And this is the one that doesn't have those dotted lines on the side. So that's the one I want to use on the front today. So I'm going to set my templates aside along with my pieces that we cut earlier. And we're going to glue this on the front of our card. Now you can line it up straight up with the edge. You can have it a little bit above or however you want it. This is your card. You can make it however you want to make it. I'm going to put it closer to the bottom. I'm going to turn my cardstock over and I'm going to do my dot, dot, not a lot of glue. There we go. And maybe you have a glue stick, and a glue stick is okay too. That will work just fine with this project. And I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to put it here and just slowly slide it into its place and carefully press it down. I don't want to press it so quick because it might slide out from under me. So there it is. That piece is ready. Now, the next step it tells me to do is go ahead and fold my other pieces. So these were these pieces right here. Remember, on our template, they had the little perforated lines, or on the printout, the little lighter colored line. So I need to fold these. Now, what I found to be helpful is if I took my template, and I took my cardstock and I held them together and I folded them together. And that was helpful for me. I'm going to do the same over here because it has a little fold line. I'm just going to fold it. And right now, it doesn't matter which way you fold it. We just need to get a fold on there, okay? I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just going to fold that along with my cardstock, coming over here. And when I do that, I just kind of tap these edges together and then fold. Okay. So those are folded just like it says. Now, if I want it to be a little bit of a stronger fold, remember what we did last time? I just took the handles of my scissors and carefully rubbed down that edge, and that makes it a stronger crease. So I'm going to do that again. There we go. Now we have these pieces just like our instructions tell us to do. The next thing that we're supposed to do is glue these two pieces together. Now it says to take these ends, oh, it's got it like this, and we're going to take two of these ends and we're going to glue those flaps together that we just made. So let me set my instructions aside for a moment, and let's do that gluing. What do we say? Put it in the chat if you remember what we say about glue. Dot, dot, not a lot. Okay. And I'm just going to slide these two together. And there we go. Carefully press them so they don't slide everywhere. Now I'm going to set that aside for a moment and let that dry. And I'm going to pull the card back out. Now, I know that step 6 says to glue this into the card, but I've made this card before and I found another way that was helpful for me when I made it. Okay, so the way that was helpful for me was to go ahead and I jumped down to step 10. Step 10 says draw on your card. So draw different things that you might think that you would see maybe in outer space or in the sand. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw these things now before I put it all together. It was a little trick I learned when I was making this. So in my card, you can see I drew some stars, I drew some things in the sand, and I'm going to get one of the markers here and I'm going to draw some stars. Let's see, what should I'm going to try different colors. How about that? So there's different ways that you can draw stars. You can draw a star. Let me do it on this piece of paper right here where you can see real well. You can do a 5-point star that goes a line up and a line down, so it looks like an upside down V. And then I want to make another V, but this time I'm going to start right here at the bottom and I'm going to go across. And I'm going to go across there. So you see the V that I made. And then the last thing I need to do is connect those lines. So that's one type of star you can do. Another type is you can just do a lines, 3 lines like this. And that makes like a star, or you might make a snowflake. Depends on what kind of scene you're creating. Another star is to make a line that goes up and down, and one that goes sideways, horizontal. And then you do the lines crisscross and it can look like a star. If you're making, you can make a star that's like this, or you can make a star that's like this. You can make all kinds of stars. Or you can even make dots, and dots can look like really, really far away stars. So let's make some different stars. We're going to do the stars on anything that's blue, but if you decided to make your card a little bit differently, then you can draw whatever you want to on here. So I'm going to make some different stars on my card with my marker. I'm going to do some in blue. I think I'm going to do some in pink. Now, I'm doing it on blue paper, so when I do it with pink, it may look very different. In fact, it looks like a different color altogether. What color am I making when I mix blue and pink together? Go ahead in the comments below. What color am I making when I mix blue and pink? Just making all the different stars. I think I'm going to make some little dots, like there's some really far away galaxies up here. Ooh, I'm just going to make a little a trail, like there's a galaxy just in a swirl back behind there. There we go. All right. When I use pink on blue paper, I made purple. It kind of looks a little pinky purplish. I'm not sure if that's showing real well for you guys on the camera, but I can see that this guy looks a little purpley. If I were to use yellow, that's going to look different as well. And I'm going to put some faraway stars over here and a little bit over here. Now let's go to the inside of our card and we're going to decorate it too. We'll go ahead. Now that my glue has dried, I'm going to press this down real good. There we go. All right. So I think I'm going to start with my yellow this time. And I'm going to make a galaxy far away that starts over here. And it just goes all the way across my card. Dot, 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 dot. And some of my dots have little tails on them. Can you see the little tails that happened when I dotted some of my dots? Oh my goodness, it looks like little comets. What about that? We can make a comet. What if we did like a little circle dot and then we did woo like that? There we go. We've got a little comet in the sky. We do one, it's going to fly from this way. Let's try some red this time. And I'm going to add some more stars in my little galaxy. This is fun, just putting dots on paper. I like that. And then I can add some closer up stars. There we go. And then I'm going to work on my sand. Now that I've got all my stars done, I want to do some sand. So I'm going to lay this. Now I want to make sure that my flap is on the back when I do my decoration of my sand. And when I think about sand, I think about what if there's like a little hill, like a little bump in the sands. And sometimes they do like that. And they have just like ridges in the sand. Maybe there's a little hole. Maybe there's another little hole. I'm just making little things. And I'm going to make some dots. And I'm going to make some other little waves in the sand over here. This is, sometimes you see this, like the sand kind of collects like that. But this is your artwork. What are you going to make? Tell me in the comments below, what are some things that you're putting in the sand? I want to hear what you're doing. I'm just putting some fun stuff. I also know that I have some other things that I'll be attaching later. So I don't have to decorate it too much right now, but get some of that main decoration done. Now I'm going to do the front. Let's do some more of those little sand. I'm going to call them sand waves. If you know what they're called, put it in the comments below. You can teach me something today. Make a little hole right here. I've been to a beach once and it was really neat because there was a spot, like you could see all the water where the ocean was, but then further away from the water in the sand, there was a spot that had water in it. And it was really neat. That's where we played. I'm going to put some little dots, maybe a little bit larger dots. And another little rock or hole or whatever you want to call it. And I didn't do a perfect circle. I did squiggly circles. I like squiggly circles. Now that we've done our decorating, so we did that from step 10, remember? We're going to go back up to step 6 and we're going to put together the pop out part with our card. Okay, so the instructions tell me that I need my card open. So I have my card opened and I need my piece right here, and I'm going to put some glue on the back side of these flaps. You see how I have it turned over? There's my side that's drawing, that I have the drawings on, and here's the other side. And I'm going to put the glue on this side. I'm only going to do one side at a time. That's a little trick I learned too. So here we go. What do we say? Dot, dot, not a lot. There we go. Got a little bit of glue there. And I'm going to take it and put it. My curves are pointing up. And I'm going to take it and just put it right here on the edge. Got some glue trying to squeeze out. So I'm going to squish it around a little bit. There we go. Hold it for a sec. Now I'm going to attach this side over here. But look, it's not even. And that's how it's supposed to be. Because that's what makes it the pop out. So I'm going to put a little glue on this side. Dot, dot, not a lot. And I'm going to fold up my card a little bit so that I can get this right up on the edge. Let me see. See? There we go. And I'm going to hold it for a minute and let that glue get settled in. Kind of dry a little bit. There we go. There, look at that. This is now my pop out. How about that? So we've made our card base. We've got our pop out. Now it's time to make the pop ups, okay? I'm going to set this aside and we're going to use some other templates. Our instructions tell us that we need to use the template that looks like this and the template that looks like this, and we're going to trace it on some paper. So I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock and I'm going to try to line this up on two edges, use my pencil and trace around. Remember, if you need help tracing, ask an adult to help you. So I'm tracing this and then I'm going to move it out of the way and I need to actually trace two of these. So I'm going to put one along this edge right here and I'm going to trace. And then I'm going to turn it around carefully, make sure it's all lined up and trace the other side. Then I'm going to move it down here. Again, I'm just trying to save myself some tracing and some cutting. Put it up against this corner. I'm going to trace, trace. And now it's time to cut. So I've got a lot of straight lines this time. Remember, we're cut, scoot, cut, scoot. We're not cutting all the way to our end of our scissors. And then I'm going to cut across here. And there's one of my pieces. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this guy and then turn it on this side and cut this long line. Cut and scoot. There we go. Number 2 done. Now I'm going to start on this straight line. And I'm going to show you a trick when I get down to the end of the straight line. So we're cutting and scooting. And now, instead of starting that curve, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut all the way across there. There we go. And that's going to get that out of the way so I can work on this curve. And I'm just going to start. And remember what we do. We turn our paper and not our scissors. I need to scoot a little bit. Just turn in my paper. And this really helps if you try to go a little bit slow. Okay, and then I'm cut it off. And those are the pieces I need. Now, just like when we were working on these and we were folding them with the template, we're going to do the same thing with this. Now, if you have the printout and you don't have the kit, that's okay, because the printout has the same shapes in it. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to line it up, tapping it on the table here. That helps me make sure that this is lined up. And I'm just going to bend both of them together. And then I'm going to bend both of them together, and I'm just going to keep bending them both together. Until I get to the end. And there I am at the end, and I can separate them. Set that aside. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm only going to do one of these at a time. I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to show you this way so you can see the folds. I'm going to fold it with both of them together, and then I'm going to fold it. Now, do you notice what I'm doing? Each time I'm folding it a different way. So I fold it towards me, and then I fold it away from me, and then towards me. And that's called an accordion fold. And it's what makes our critters, our dog and our cat, this is what we're going to use for them, and makes them pop off the page. And we did that same little accordion fold here. Kind of looks like a letter W or a letter M, M for Michael's, right? We love Michael's. How fun it is to craft and shop at Michael's. So we're just doing that, and now we got one more to do, you guys. So I'm going to put that template on there, and I'm going to fold it where it's pointing towards me, and I'm going to fold it where it's pointing away from me, and then the last one is pointing towards me. And I'm going to take my template out, so I'm finished with it. Now, if you want those to be stronger, like really tight folds, you can do the thing with your scissors again and press down. And press down. And lastly, we're going to press down there, and we've got this big guy. Okay, so you don't have to press really hard. So you don't have to stand up and put all your might into it. It's just a little bit of a press, and it'll be okay. So we've got these pieces. So we did step 7, we traced them, we cut them. We've already done step 8 where we folded them. So we are ready for step 9. And step 9 is where things start really happening. So let's now get our sun and our astronauts. What should we call them? Our pet astronauts? What would you call them? I think that would be fun to have fun names for our pet astronauts. What names would you give them? You can put that in the comments below. I think that would be great to hear what you would give them. What names? All right. So I've got my pet astronauts. I need those. I need the sun. Here it is. And I need my pop-up pieces. So I'm going to take this, and it's in another piece of paper. It's just kind of hanging on by little pieces. So I'm just going to carefully go around and pop it out. And that's trash. So I'm going to set it aside. Now, if you have the printout, yours is going to look like this. And so you would just cut around this circle, okay? So there's my sun. And now I'm going to do these 2 little astronauts. And I'm going to carefully just lift them out. What they are attached by is little pieces. And so if I feel like it's not coming very easily, you know what I would do? Instead of trying to pull harder or faster, I would actually go slower. And I would look at it and go, why are you not coming apart? What's causing the problem? And I would investigate. And if I saw that maybe it was still attached by more than just a little piece, then I might need to cut it apart. Not always the case, but we investigate. We put our detective hat on and we investigate. So for example, as I'm pulling on this guy, I feel some resistance. He is not coming apart very easily. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do other pieces where they are coming apart very easily. And oh, I got another little guy right there. Okay, we'll come back to him. I'm going to go around and to get these other pieces. And I'll tell you that if you go around and get everything that's easy first, it will make the last part a lot easier for you. So right there, I have 2 places where it's just a little bit connected. And when I put on my detective hat and I investigate, I see that it's not fully apart there. And in fact, if I pull too hard, I'm tearing the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors And I'm going to carefully reach inside here, and I'm just going to cut this apart. So carefully, because I don't want to cut my little kitty cat's astronaut suit, right? So I'm going to make some little snips, little snips, not big snips, and that helped me get him apart. Now I'm going to go over here to this side. And we see that he's hanging by just a little bit there, but I need to cut him apart. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do some little snips, not big snips, little snips. And I'm going to go snip, snip. Can you see my little snips? And with the very, very end, snip, snip. And he's loose. What did you name him? Did you put it down in the comments what you named the little kitty cat? So I'm going to set that aside. And now it's time to put together our pop-out pieces. All right. So this one is for the sun. And the sun is going to go on this rounded piece right here. So you can play with it. You can have it wherever way you want it. And we're going to take our glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue right in the middle. And then I'll put my sun right on top of it. Press it down a little bit, turn it over, press it, and I'm just going to let that set aside. And now it's time to put my pop-up pieces on my little astronaut, my pet astronauts. So we've got these end pieces, and that's where our glue is going to be. Our glue is going to be on this end, and we're going to put that on our little pet, and just put him on there, and I'm going to set that aside so that that glue can dry. I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. Pop, pop. There we go. And set that aside for just a minute. I'll put up my lid on my glue. Surely don't want to let that dry out, right? Now, oh, but I'm going to need it again. Well, that was fun. All right. So now you are so creative. I know that you've got great ideas about where to put your pieces. But if you are struggling to figure out where you want to put your astronauts and your sun, you can do it like mine, and that's okay. So I'm going to take and I'm going to turn my sun where this flat back here is pointing down. So like this. That's how I'm going to do my sun. And I think I made this one, I put him on the right. But I think this time I'm going to put the sun on the left. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to just set that down and pop, pop. There we go. Now you can use the blue cardstock to make your pop out cutouts. You can use yellow. You can use whatever color you want to. If you wanted it to blend in, you definitely would want to try to use the same color as your background. But you know what? I think it looks fun. Like the sun is shooting out of the sky. So it has this yellow trail blazing behind it right now. That's super fun. And now I've got two little astronauts. Well, you know what? There's my sun. I don't want him too close to the sun. So I'm going to put him over here. And I'm going to take and put a little bit of glue. And just see how the flap right there. And then I've got my M. And I'm going to put it on this side of my flap. So if I squished it down, it would be right here. A little bit of glue. And then I'm going to take and just put him over here in the sky. He's floating. You know what I think I'm going to do with this guy? He's going to be upside down. I think that would be so fun. He is floating through space, but he is floating upside down. Oh my goodness. That silly kitty cat. Look at him floating upside down. All right. I want to know, how did you put your your animals and your sun on here? Did you put the sun on the left or did you put it on the right? Where did you put your animals? Can you share with me in the comments below where you put your animals and your sun? I'd really love to hear about your card. All right, so now the next step we need to do, because remember, we've already drawn, so we've done step 10. Our last step is to decorate with stickers. All right, here we go. I'm going to grab my stickers. Got lots of them here to use. And we're going to just put stickers wherever we feel like a sticker needs to be. So I'm going to start with my biggest stickers first, so I make sure I have room for them. I've got this one that reminds me an awful lot of the planet Saturn. So I'm going to place it, I think I'll put it right over here. There it is. And I want to save the pink one for the front of my card. So I think I'll take this green one right here, and I'll also put it on, and I'm going to put it right over here. Oh, let's put it behind our astronauts. Now time for some stars. Now these are starfish, and these are stars like we would think about in the sky. But if you think that starfish should belong in the sky, then I think that that's what you should do. Go for it. If you think a seashell should be in the sky, go for it. I think that creativity is the best thing. And when we think about putting something like a sticker of a seashell in the sky, you are being so creative and different. And different is fun and good. And I think we all should have a little bit of difference. So, you know, that's me and my kitty cat being upside down. I was being different. How have you made your card different than mine? What are ways that you liked and you wanted to do like my card? And what's some ways that you like, you know, Tanya, I think that was really neat, but I'd like to do it a different way. Would you share with me the ways that you've made your card different? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you'll share in the comments, I'll get to see them. All right, so I put some stars in my sky. I've got my planets in the sky, and now I'm going to keep working with my stars. So I'm actually going to open up or close up my card, and on this side, I'm going to put my other planets. I said I wanted to save this pink one for the front. Here he is. There's the pink. And I think I'm going to put him right next to my galaxy, my swirly galaxy. Now, if you're making this card for someone, you might have wanted to write something on the front. Go for it. Write something on the front there. Maybe you want to cut out some letters and share and put them on there, like from a magazine or something like that. And you could totally do that. That would be super fun. I've got that. I'm going to put some stars in the sky. And let's grab some yellow ones. Now, if you don't have the kit, you may want to know what can you stick on? Well, you can cut out some stars and color them in. There's some stars on your handout, and you can color them whatever color you want. And then you can cut them out and you can place them on there, or maybe you have some different star stickers that you would like to use. All right, now I've got my stars and I've got my planets. Now it's time to work on this area. So I'm going to put, I think I'm going to start with my big pieces. So we've got some more pop outs here. I think I want to put, I've already got a pink planet here. So I think I'll put the pink on the inside, the pink umbrella. Let's go with this fun little blow up. That will be great. We'll put him on the front. Careful, careful. There we go. And how about a sandcastle? Let's do a sandcastle too. That's what I'll do on my front. What are you going to put on the front of yours in the sand? Are you going to put any of these? Like, are you going to put this shovel with a seashell, or the blow up, or the sandcastle, or the umbrella? Would you share in the comments below what you're putting on the front of your card? Now, these are going to require a little glue. So I'm just going to put a little glue. I don't have to cover the whole thing in glue. I just need a little bit there to hold it in place, and it'll be just fine. In fact, if I don't put glue on this part, it makes it stand out a little bit. And that looks neat too. Put a little glue on him, and he's going to be floating over here. And now let's go to the inside of our card, and we're almost finished. Let me go ahead and get my big pieces. With this little umbrella here, I want to use him. What pieces are you going to be using on the inside of your card? Now, I can't see your card right now. I would sure love to see it. And if you want to share your card and you have an adult who would like to post a picture of your card, we would love to see your cards. And you can post those cards with an adult's permission, and you can use any of these hashtags, or you can go to Instagram and you can share with us on Instagram what you're doing. We would love to see what you're making. Let me put a little glue right down here on the bottom. Now, I definitely don't want to put glue on the top of this one, because if I did, he would stick to the back and then this wouldn't pop out. So I'm going to put him right here, and there he goes. And I have one more little pop out here. Let me get this guy on. A little dot, dot, not a lot. Remember, we're going to just do the bottom of this. And I'm going to put it right over here. And then I've got some seashells and some starfish that I'm going to stick around in different spots. If you've been to the beach, have you ever collected shells at the beach? It's super fun. And if you have a chance sometime, it's really fun to look and see all the different seashells that you can find at the beach. So the next time, if you have the opportunity to go to the beach, look for some seashells. If you don't, you can actually make a pretend beach. You can get some seashells and make a beach, and you can pretend like you're walking along the beach and collecting seashells with the seashells that you were able to get at the store. There we go. I think I'm finished with my card. I still have some stickers left over, and I still can make some more cards. See, I still have all of these stickers I could still use. But this is going to be my card for today. And when I open it up, oh my goodness, look at them. They're flying through the sky. And this pops out. Look at that. I am so excited that you joined me today. I can't wait to see what you've made, and I can't wait to read your comments below and hear all the things that you were able to do. It is really exciting to be with you today, and y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for coming.